Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all
retro gamers!
Calling all retro
gamers!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your bi-weekly excuse to just hang out with cool friends and chat games. I'm one of your hosts, Rich. There's that Richard Kill-9, the Evercade Effect himself. What's going on, man?
What's up?
What is up? Yeah, we got some people in the chat here, too. You know, Mr. Shua's going, what's going on? Got Lloyd, our Jim, is in here in the house.
Yeah.
What is up? Dual channel members on other channels. It's awesome.
Yes! Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, that's
Good
awesome.
Good times for sure. Mr. Shua saying he was I was hanging in there. He was saying get better than earlier. Recorded an entire video with no audio. Ow.
Oh no.
That's a rough one, man. I've been there. I have definitely been there. It's not a great time. Did aliens abduct Ed? No, it was us.
I'll tell you what's worse than doing that, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
But look who else stepped in.
Oh, hey, what's going on? Tim Tiny Arcade in the house.
Yeah, we gotta have him back on and get like updates and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We gotta get all sorts of people in here.
But so what I think is a worser derp that I've done, and I think of my members only on show. So instead of having audio, I like all the stuff behind me. I use as an unboxing table, and I forget which video it was, but like I think I started to talk for like at least a few minutes. And then I realized, and then I like said, I didn't have it. I forgot to put everything back. So that would be kind of weird just to do the whole other video. I had audio, but I still had to.
So that's one of those things where I would just I would have just left it, and then just you didn't even mention it. Just be like, whatever, it's fine.
If I didn't catch it till later on, like I want to say when I did, what was it? Like Astabros when I did my first impression. I forgot to turn on my light for 10 minutes, and I couldn't really redo it, so I was like, sorry. And I just good stuff. We got some awesome people in the chat.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, it's another one of those just kind of chill weeks, just hanging in.
No, I'm glad we were able to fit this in because I know you've got business stuff later in the week. So
yeah, going to a technology conference starting tomorrow in the Atlantic cities, which is kind of cool. They have it at the same place every year, and it's massive. The place is absolutely ginormous. You walk around there for hours, get lost. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So we go there, and then during the nighttime, my wife's coming down with me, so we got to dinner and do all that kind of stuff. So that'll be kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So yeah, it's kind of like a half conference, half mini little getaway, that kind of thing.
That's awesome if you can do that. Yeah.
So, but I 100% am bringing some kind of gear because if only one thing happens, I will make that video in the I will go into the keynote room and I will record a video from the keynote room. I'm actually going to bring something with me in order to it'll be a prop that I'll bring in order to have that video because I just think it's kind of cool that it's real. So isn't there a huge arcade in Atlantic City? I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
If not, there should be.
Yeah, there actually should be.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lucky Snake Arcade and Sports Bar at Showboat. All right. That's pretty cool. Wait a minute. Where is that?
Now he's going to have to go there and record some footage.
Wait a minute. There's no way. Come back on this brand new, blah 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 blah, such as hours ago. Oh, they haven't done it yet.
Oh.
Designed by the Araya Group, the 5,328 square foot arcade is illuminated by a glow of bright neon lights and offers high energy multi-sensory experience for all ages and skill levels. Okay, but where? When does this happen? Because the thing that I'm looking at right now is at it's at the resort that I'm going to. But wait, it says it's now open. Where?
Oh, it is open. Sweet.
See all hours. 10 to 10 every day, except for Friday. Friday's up until 2 a.m. Okay. But this is like a Dave and Buster's kind of thing. And moreover than like a classic arcade. But that's cool. I'll still go. I'll play some skee ball. Games are played on the arcade's cashless currency on reloadable cards. Okay, it can be loaded with blah, blah, blah instead of tickets. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, but they didn't do anything. They didn't like show anything else. But now I have to know like where this place is, like in the resort. They must have like closed a section of like one of the towers or something, and then stuck this thing in there. That's awesome.
You could
I'm super excited.
Just tell your wife it's Mr. Shua's fault because he mentioned this cool place and like you're obligated to go to it. Like you told him like you
no, I'll just be like, hey, I heard that I heard something really cool over here. Let's go around this corner. Come on over here. Let's check it out. Don't worry about the lights. It's all good. But yeah, so that's that. But there is, I know that you're right, Mr. Shore. There is one on the boardwalk. Let me see here. It's inside of the showboat, apparently. And it's also like one of those. Oh, look at that. I should probably just do this.
Brownie points.
I already got them. Yeah.
Oh, so you know what though? Kind of doing that and sneaking away. I actually have a retro story that ties in with it. And I even looked up the movie just to make sure that I got my dates right. that I'll explain here after this. That looks awesome.
This must be another this must be one of those things like, what if I could do this? Can I do this? Make it bigger, I guess. There we go. Yeah, we can do that. There we go.
They got the big Space Invaders. Yeah.
So this is kind of like a Dave and Buster's kind of thing too at the showboat. But if this is like the other, if this is what it's going to be at Harrah's, then whatever, I'll just be there. So I don't know how far away the showboat is from the Harrah's. I do know that we're going to go out somewhere. Wow, there's an indoor go-kart. Look at that. That's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Fast and the Furious machines. You got the big claws.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think cruising, I think I saw a Raw Thrills machine over there.
Yep. There's definitely... Well, Raw Thrills is like, they do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yes.
Indoor bowling.
Any racing game by Raw Thrills is great.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well,
matter of fact, I was like, on our channel, there's two videos. One where I went to Dave and Buster's and we go to cruising. And then the second was another Raw Thrills machine that I went on the cruise ship, which that one was really neat because it was all like on hydraulic, the whole thing would move around and all that.
Well, so I will say this right now: if I get down there and that place is indeed open, and it's got games, there'll be footage of games here on this channel for sure. I'll take all sorts of different videos, do a little preview, see what we can find. That's cool though, because it's. The nightlife is a little boring. Like unless you have like something to do, like go to dinner or something like that. Anyway, you can go and if you're a gambler, you're in a casino, so you could do that. But I'm not that guy. In fact, I have what is called the donation. I don't know if I've ever said this to whatever, but anytime I go into any casino, I have, like I said, what I call the donation, and it is one $20 bill. All right, I have one $20 bill in my pocket. It's specifically meant to be placed inside of a slot machine, and I will pull until one of two things happen. I win, and the amount I win exceeds the $20, in which case I immediately cash out and just walk away. Done. Or I lose it all, and then I go, well, that was my donation. Thank you. Goodbye. Ooh, arcade video is always fun. Yeah, sure, man. I will.
So yeah, me and you have a different kind of look at it. So me and my wife, we set like X amount of money, and it's our entertainment money. And
Yeah.
so the goal is like, so I was going to say, breaking even, fantastic. That's rare. Actually being up a little bit, in general, that's even more rare. What
Right.
is cool that you can do, like if you're on like a cruise ship or or you're in Vegas or someplace, at least like we like both will share one card, so at least you can earn like points to get deals and other stuff and get things for free, and all that.
Mhm.
Not an investment, but you can, that's kind of the key thing is you want to be real. That you want to be like realistic. Like, hey, either you kind of do what you do, like, hey, I'm just going to put away to 20, see what happens, or you understand you're not going to hit it rich. It's entertainment. It's like an adult arcade.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's good. So I do. So like talking to Sneaky, I do have a quick retro kind of
Man.
story that made me think of. It's happened in 1994, and I know that because I IMDb'd like Naked Gun 33 and a third, and I was like, okay, 1994, born in 79, I was 15, I was like, the time checks out.
Yeah.
But because around that time, at school there was like our first science fair or whatever, and I'm trying to remember, like I think it was like at a mall, if I remember right.
Mhm.
But it was kind of one of those, and I was gonna say, I want to say I run a coincidence. Like I think the thing me and my friend did was like the effects of like staying up late and playing video games, like staying up 24 hours, which
Right,
really I think me and my friends just did it as an excuse, just so we could all like have a bunch of people like spend the night at my
Mhm.
friend Sam's house, and our parents would leave us alone. But what stands out is we were there for a while, and we knew we weren't going to get any medal, and like you could just kind of like walk away. And so when we did that, and we saw Naked Gun 33 and a third, and then in that mall, I want to say maybe it was like a Toys R Us KB or something, but they had like a Super Nintendo set up. And I know a lot of people like say that like the Genesis version of Aladdin is better, but they had like the Super Nintendo version.
Sure.
And you have to remember, like back then, like any game like that you could play for free. And it was just like, yeah, went ahead, saw a movie, did that, came back, like teaching no one ever even knew like we were gone.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
me and my friend at the time, it was just one of those like, and you could kind of like get away with that stuff, like back then. But yeah, just kind of came back and nobody knew why. When you said that, I was like, hey, I could have a sneaky story. Oh, and then what else did I find? So I did find another like free game, not one that's like discounted, but one that's like
Okay.
that looks, I don't know. And it's one of those ones here. I'll put the link in the thing, put it up here on the screen. I've never played this, I've never seen this, but
Yeah.
from
I always
there we go.
love when this happens. So they're just
Yeah. So this is what
I go
it's.
into Steam too and just look in it.
Yeah. I added it to my thing. Test, and it's like it says escape a time loop as an overworked office employee trying to solve cryptic puzzles and alternate reality game elements. Wow, sounds like my job. No, but so I don't know. The art style looks kind of cool. I mean, I won't just add like any of this like free game, but something that looks cool. Never played it. There's no Proton. I have no idea if this works on Steam Deck. Maybe I'll like try it out.
Yeah.
But it's a retro art point and click puzzle adventure that people put on for free. And it came out like 5 days ago. So
That's pretty cool.
there you go. Enjoy.
Developed by Mojiken.
Hey, Brian. I love that. The bacon ice cream.
Hey, what's up, man? It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Oh,
So-
man. Okay. I feel warmed. I feel warmed up and all.
Nice. Very
And all
cool.
that. Oh, so I was going to ask, have you or anyone in the audience, have any of you guys ever ordered anything from AliExpress?
No. I've ordered things from like all the other places.
Yeah.
Like the Sheins and the Temu and all that other place, but not
Yeah.
not AliExpress.
'Cause I
Although
think,
I heard AliExpress is pretty cool.
yeah, it is, but I think, and I've heard, because I think I've told this that like when I put my Steam Deck back together after upgrading the drive, I had 2 questionable screws, and I'm like, I really probably shouldn't put those back in,
Right.
and I didn't I wasn't gonna pay $15 from iFixit, which is just disgusting, just to get like their version of. I think maybe it might have come with the spudger or something, but like, dude, these are screws, these are screws, and then like Amazon they wanted like $10, but then like off AliExpress I think I talked it was $1. For a complete rear set. I only need 2 screws, come to the screwdriver, and like 24-cent shipping. But what I've heard in the current status is once it'll show you the status, but then once it gets to your country, it says it's at the last mile.
Yeah.
It's with the carrier, and you don't have a tracking number. So I don't know if anyone's used that before. Like, is it if they had to like wait like a week or two for it to go through customs and all that, because that's kind
Got
of
it.
getting up on. I mean, if I never get it, it's like whatever. I'm at $1, but like I need the screen. I want, it's like it's one of those things where I didn't need mission critical. It's just
Right.
like the right side of my Steam Deck is clicky because because of the space.
Got
So
it.
yeah, if anyone's had any experiences, but yeah, I figured for like $1 I could risk it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
Because that all that stuff, like everything is made in China anyway, so it's like probably just pop it in the bag
Exactly.
from the factory, send it over,
exactly. So,
Do you have any retro topics you want to bring up, or anyone watching have anything? Let us know.
yeah, I mean, we could talk about all sorts of fun stuff. I mean, the last retro topic that I had of anything recent was something that we have to wait until after the watershed to talk about, of course,
Yes,
because we don't want this to be Evercast 2.
No,
Yeah,
no.
not yet. But
after the hour, that's like
you gotta get after 10 o'clock. It'll be all right. It's fine.
That's just like funny. That's like the like unofficial rules, just like that. and then the same with on Evercast. Like after an hour, we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, and then for me though, like we were just talking about right before we started the show, was the only other thing. Well, there was two things that were actually pretty cool. One that was directly related to like sort of like retro stuff, because it's like stuff that I do every day. Is we finally set up everything in Studio B. So the thing that I was waiting for finally arrived. We got the screen up, we got everything hung up, we got it all hooked up, and then I tested the first time. I have a tri-monitor display set up now with the HDMI splitters and HDMI input switchers, which is pretty epic. So I can now have all of my HDMI compatible systems hooked up in one device with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plug.
Oh, nice! You can just like press which one. Oh,
yep.
That's awesome.
And then that goes to a splitter. All of those outputs go to a splitter that allows me to feed into one of my capture devices, or a 19-inch monitor that's right to the left of my main monitor, and then another one that goes now to the television that's on the wall. So at any time, all the time, I can have all of that going on at the same time. It's pretty great.
You'll have to show me what splitter that you have, and hopefully you got off of Amazon, just because I looked at some reviews, and some of them are actually like, they call them splitters, but they're more like, but you can only have one active at a time.
Mhm.
And then some other ones are true splitters where you can have dual. But I've been seeing like mixed reviews where some of them say, well, this one supposedly works from a laptop, one of them doesn't.
Yeah.
And then what was weird is then like they were like unrelated like book reviews, like other weird things.
Yeah.
And posting, and I was like, I mean, they had like 25,000, but like there were other comments, and then they were like in different languages. I didn't know if these were bots so I'm like, I don't know if I can trust them. Like it wasn't anything on topic, and I didn't want to go through Google Translate. I don't know, but it looked like crazy.
Well, one of the splitters, it's by it's like an Amazon splitter that I got, so it's like a no-name brand or whatever, but it's REI. It's the brand name. I have a 1-to-4 splitter that I use here at Studio A. So when I'm doing things like all my Fun for Fives and all that kind of stuff, I have a display. So if you follow my hand here, right here, I'm literally touching another display that I have here, but it's direct feed, so I don't get any of the latency.
See, that's
so if I was playing something like, for example, way back when I was doing Perfect Score Returns and I did the Sequest episode, I didn't have that. So I was actually working with a, 5 to 7 millisecond delay. And on Sequest, you can't do that, and expect to win. Yeah. So, because I was actually playing my game through the preview window in OBS when I was playing Sequest, when I did the score run. That's crazy.
See, that's what I do when I look at stuff on the VS, but I'm doing that like offline, and there's only like half a millisecond of delay, so like 99% of the time it's fine.
Yeah, but you can get by.
Yeah, but what I want it for is, I want to say right now I'm at like 7 or so active channel members. If I get to 10, I'll do live streaming, and instead of I'd like to have StreamYard here, but I can't. Like, there's way too much latency to use StreamYard as a viewing window. But I want to be able to view the chat but then I could have it on my second monitor. I could have it actually hooked up to play, which is like great.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Which is
yeah,
like right, which is like right there.
yeah. Yeah. Lloyd or Jim has one for his. He says Analog Pocket VS. I'm sorry, VCS. And this, yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I like it. And it's
Cool.
it's been working. I had a little bit of a scare though when we put up the TV. Was I was able to get the side monitor and the television going, and then my capture card wasn't. It didn't display anything. So I had to restart. I had to restart the computer and then like toggle. There's two different modes that you can put out on the thing. So I had to toggle between the two modes, and then as soon as I went back to the mode I wanted it in, it was working. So Amazon reviews are hard to find.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I saw a few of them, and they were kind of like a similar product. And then you go click on the company, and then it doesn't link to like a company page. That's like the same name as like toilet paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I really, yeah. All right, yeah. Afterwards, we'll look at that. But yeah, no, it's yeah, dude. No, yeah, no, you texted me the picture, and I was like, dude, that was just godly. That was awesome. That was
it's pretty cool.
Like it's coming along. I was like, dude, that's
it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I should probably send myself. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. I'll send myself the picture, and then we'll put it up real quick. But yeah, the other thing too was, I don't normally get sucked into like the new thing, whatever everyone's talking about or doing whatever as far as gaming goes.
Yeah.
But my buddy at work is kind of into those things. He's got a whole bunch of friends that play Xbox, Steam, and all that kind of stuff, and they're all jazzed about this new crazy thing, that Power World game. They're playing that, and then I realized today, I was like, wait, I got Game Pass. I don't have an Xbox, but I have Game Pass. But you know what I do have? An Atari VCS.
Yeah,
and that'll play Game Pass just fine. So I actually loaded it up, and I've just been staring at the screen, and I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm like literally just like at the menu screen. So sometime, probably while we're talking, I may actually indeed just hit the button and spin up a character to find out what this crazy game is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it's like ridiculous. You have to
the thing I can tell you what the controversy kind of watching a few videos. Well,
yeah,
I think they said like first off, I think they bought I don't know if it was either this game or the game before, like they bought assets, and then it looks a lot like Pokemon, and then supposedly they said like they hired some like artist who's really talented who can draw this out, but then like they're a company that like they make AI games, and my whole thing is like I don't think it really matters. Like, who cares if they use AI or not? Like, if you enjoy the game or if they use assets. Actually, fun fact: I didn't know that Vampire Survivors, that game, like that, like were started with assets. Like, there's a forget who did it, but there's like a documentary, kind of on that because like the guy, like he couldn't do art, program it in Java, which I think is kind of funny. Like he does the programming in Java, and then his employees or whatever, like they'll code it to what it needs to be. But anyways. Like there's several games where you can, and that's why assets exist. So I think, like to me, like I'm like, listen, as long as you enjoy the game, like it doesn't matter. But people they like something. I think because it looks like Pokemon, it's an FPS. You can do PvP. It's like crafting buildings. Like if you're into that type of thing, then that's pretty cool. But that is one neat thing about Game Pass that you can just like jump on and you can just like check out and see.
Yeah, well, I think it is absolutely cool that you can do that. But it seems when a game gets, I guess, that big that quickly, it's just, my interest is so peaked that I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me hit the button, find out why.
Yeah.
Why is this so popular? But
especially because you can just jump on. Because I think like I looked on Steam and it's like $26. I'm like, for something I don't know, I'm not just gonna. Buy randomly.
That's why I went on Game Pass.
Yeah, but something like that, like
because I already have Game Pass, so I was like,
of course,
just hit the button.
Yeah, I would do the same thing, dude. Yeah, but with something like Vampire Survivors and it was $3. Yeah.
So if people want to know what Studio B looks like, this is it. This is what Studio B looks like on the whole setup here. So like, I think I can. Oh yeah, I can actually show. That's showing up on the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is brand new. The TV is brand new, and then we got Soups over here. This is an Ouya actually right here.
Ouya!
So I wonder if I can. Oh yeah, I can. So
Yeah.
there. So there's an Ouya.
Like a Mario lunchbox?
There's soups. Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Oh,
It was a
cool.
puzzle. All the puzzle pieces were in there. And then let's see if we go over here. There's the Alpha Probe. It was built in 1979. I bought it at a sale. There's a Starscream. This is my buddy Starscream. There's my 2600
Oh, you
panel.
put the VMU there too.
Yeah, it's a Dreamcast VMU. Yep.
Yeah. Remember that was
That's
like
pretty good.
one of the random things you found in the wasn't that like in the drawer with your Neo Geo Pocket?
It was. Yeah.
Yes,
I had no
yeah.
idea I still had one. So then there's Dragon Master. There's the game that I got given by Bitching Games that was on the Poly Mega. That's the cartridge. And of course my Destiny Ghost from the Ghost Edition. You get over here. You get the VS. This I actually bought and donated to my school. So there's the middle school class upstairs has a VS. It's just hanging out in their room. So that's their brain break. So when they get like rewards at the end of the week, they get like 30 minutes to like pass a controller and play and stuff. So now they play VS, which is awesome.
Heck yeah.
You got Lorcana, you got Lord of the Rings, Magic the Gathering. There's a little Spidey pop there, so that's kind of cool. Then you get over here. That's the 2600 plus box, but that's actually my Retron 77 with a copy of ET over there. There's a ColecoVision, copy of Dino Blaster over there. What else we got? Genesis, Nintendo DS with a Final Fantasy 3 sticker, sealed copy of Kingdom Hearts back here,
Ooh.
and a complete copy of Soul Silver.
Ooh.
With the
That's worth
Pokemon.
some money.
Yeah, it is actually. I didn't know that, but yeah.
You know, I think that's like $100
And-
game in the box
And
or
neither,
more.
and neither did my brother-in-law, who just was like, "Here, have it." And I was like, "Are
Yeah.
you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't care." I was like, "I'm pretty sure this is worth something." And he's like, "Yeah,
I think that's like 100 to 150 somewhere, maybe
it's
120.
it's worth
What-
some stuff."
What Genesis game was that?
The right here, Golden Axe. And this is,
Okay.
Light Crusader.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and then over here is the VS, the Duke VS PS2, and then right here, the wood grain right there. That's actually the 2600 plus itself,
Ooh.
but it's hooked up to the workstation, which is right here. We got a little Pac-Man going on.
I love that.
This is an NES Pi that we were working on trying to fix for upstairs. We put some emulation stuff for the kids, and then this is the setup. This is the 3 monitor setup here. So that's monitor 1. This is monitor 2. That's the live monitor, and then over here, this monitor right here is the OBS monitor. So OBS is always up there, and then you got 2 mics, one for me right here, and then right here for anyone that's sitting on the couch, which is off screen, but right in front of that table is a couch, so people could just hang on the couch and play. So now that it's all set up, we are ready to rock.
Oh,
So
nice! And I see you got
lots
your
of
tripods
content.
and your ring lights and all that cool stuff over
Yeah,
there.
down
You
over
can use
here.
for
Yep.
unboxings and
Yep.
dude.
And then we've got and then I've got my mic, my other camera here. This is the other Logitech 1080p cam.
Nice, dude. I'm gonna say I am just as happy as I am jealous of you at the same time. this is very
Yeah,
this
it's
is
all good. It's all good. So yeah, I mean it's fun stuff. I can't wait to like really dig in and start using it. But you guys are going to be seeing a whole lot of stuff coming very, very shortly, which is awesome. So can't wait for all that. But did I do the update for the 2600 plus yet? No, I haven't yet. I heard that it's not hard to do, but I tried to look at you have to get into whatever the beta or whatever, and it's on Atari Age, but I couldn't find my way in and do the stuff yet. So I was just And plus I don't think I have any of the games that I would need the update for yet. But when I run into one, then it'll probably encourage me to update.
Nice. Yeah. I think it's very cool that they have that compatibility.
Yeah, man.
Which obviously a device like that you would you'd hope they would have planned in.
Exactly. So as we chat though, I am gonna hit this button.
Yep.
I'm gonna put myself in the box. And we're gonna just play around. But we can continue talking or whatever. It's just something else to stare at. I guess I have to create a world. I don't know. Can I? How do I? All right. Can I just? Oh, what? What is this? Oh, do I have to use a keyboard? I wonder if it. I wonder if it forces me to use a keyboard.
He's the man in the box. Oh man.
Oh, yeah. So did Circus Convoy work though, or did it only work until after the update? Oh yeah, it uses a keyboard. It's weird. What are we gonna call this thing? We're gonna call it Cargland.
There you
All right, Cargland. It's made. It's being made.
go. Oh, yes,
Right.
if update. Cool. So yeah. That's totally a reason to update. Yeah, I don't blame you for wanting to play Circus Convoy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Then, well, then
Yeah,
I would have. Then I have to because I
Yeah.
own Circus Convoy, so I have to. That is going to be something I have to do a restoration on. But yes, I 100% want to do that. All right.
Yeah, because I remember of the Retron, that was kind of one of the biggest like turnoffs for like if you wanted to play like which it's kind of funny because that thing you can jailbreak and you can play any Atari game, on a ROM, but then it kind of defeats the purpose because like that device was made to like make ROMs and there were games like Circus Con, stuff like that people wanted to. So I need to, but like I haven't yet. Although like it does, we have to wait another 30 minutes to talk about Evercade. But yeah, no, there are like a lot of improvements. The one thing I will say that made me happy to see that like Magical Drop they fixed the save states and like some of the arcade games like keep track of scores.
Right.
I want to though, but like I don't know. Let's just say like I could have done that. When was it? Like it was like last night or whatever when it came out. But I decided to put in like two guilty pleasures of the VS, which is like the Atari one cart and then Television one cart. Just play some games, and that's sometimes how it is. Like, and that's why I hate sometimes like a PlayStation. Like if you want to like play something like Pac-Man and submit your high scores, it forces you to update.
Yeah.
But so I will do it. But I was just like, sometimes you just want to like have a plug and play experience. But there are like other cool things. So the Steam Deck. Sometimes I feel like every other time it wants updates. But that's the nature of the world that we live.
Yeah.
Like we live in. I was like, hence that's why on my YouTube channel I put in a survey like how often do people do updates and stuff. I'm kind of curious. And all that. Hey, it's running smooth.
Oh yeah. So the one thing I will say is Game Pass with Xbox Cloud Gaming is like there's some wizard action happening, like 100% just wizardry, because I have no idea how all of this is working on a device that there's no way that this could run like natively
Right.
on the VCS. There's just no way. But here I am, just
well, the nice thing about streaming is as long as you have like a solid internet connection, you can just like run it on a potato. I mean, that's what's so like it can run like on any like on anything
for sure.
And I think it's awesome with like the Atari. I mean, what's great about the Atari VCS is you have an Xbox controller pretty much, so it's
right.
So it's like it fits and all that. Yeah, I have it. Like at some point, I've even thought about like streaming my PS4 to my Steam Deck, but I don't know. I haven't felt like it. At least this makes it easy. But but to your point though, what's cool about the Xbox Cloud, like you can play it. So if I wanted to, I could play it on my PC. I could stream that on my deck if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I was gonna say enjoy. Well, it's funny. Enjoy it while you can now, because it seems like slowly but surely, like the tier prices of those always increase. Which because for something especially like Xbox, I wonder sometimes if they break even or if they're making money, because like you get the best value out of all like the like you get a better value than Sony, better value than Nintendo.
Right.
I mean, you don't even have to own an Xbox, and you can, as we talked about, which is great. But yeah, I mean, there was like a point in time where I really liked these kind of games. I liked MMOs, liked gathering and all that. So yeah, I mean, just to like jump in and check it out is kind of neat. But but sometimes kind of depending on what you want, sometimes they can feel like a lot of work. Sometimes like for me, like if like my preference if I'm going to do this, I want to play something like Minecraft.
Oh, well, for this?
Well, like if I wanted to do like building,
Yeah.
because then I feel like it's like less something like less pressured or whatever. I mean, but there's definitely a certain audience. I think it's great. And there was a point in time where I played like this kind of reminds me like of 7 Days to Die, which the funny thing is, I think that game is like the longest game to ever be like an early access. Remember, it got that like 10+ years whenever it came out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, aesthetically and everything, it looks pretty, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I have absolutely no idea what this is.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, okay. So get pebbles and pick up fallen branches, and apparently you can punch trees. You can also do that.
Yeah.
All right. Open the technology screen from the menu and unlock the PAL sphere. Okay. So how do I unlock it? What's this? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You just say yes.
I just did it. Yeah. Craft one. Okay. So if I go over here, do I have to like PAL sphere? So I need palladium fragments and stone. Okay. Great. Can I get like clothes? Hey, look, it's like a little sheep guy. Attack pals to weaken them and then press RB. All right. So. Oh, I don't have a sphere. Oh, that was pointless. Can I beat up the stones? No. Let me beat up the tree and get some more wood out of it. So there's that. So we're beating up some stuff. Oh wait, where'd Ed go? Ed, where you go? Come back. I don't know where he went. Where's everybody else? I don't know what's happening over there. I can talk to this guy, okay. But I need stones. Pick up that. Oh, he's back. He's back.
So
What happened?
my stupid internet. And so here's the hell of it, right? So I see that I'm like, can you hear me? And of course I didn't hear anything. And I go to like log in my phone
Stone.
and I go to use mobile data. And the exact same time that I go to log in, then it shows up here. That it's stupid Spectrum internet. And it's only like it only happens during like when I go live. It's like a gremlin. It's like the gremlin knows.
Yeah, right.
And then it comes out to get me. At some point we'll switch over to fiber, but it's just it really irritates me. Especially this time, it irritated me even more. As normally I get like the Windows icon, that I lost it, but it was just like a hiccup.
Yeah.
It had a brain fart. I don't know if you answered Lloyd Jerem's question, but
Oh yeah, what's up?
so are you planning on getting all the modules for the Polymega, or just specific ones, or?
So for now, I'm gonna get specific ones, and the first one I'm gonna get is the Ultra module. And the reason why is because it's currently the only one that is available that I cannot already emulate to put out for HDMI. So although I could mod my Nintendo 64, which I own, that I'm not looking to I'm not looking to do that right now. Wait, was it up here? Yeah, it is. Getting lost.
Yeah, I was gonna say not only that, I'm like they're like $80 a pop too, so it's like
Yeah.
right.
I mean, you kind of got to be choosy, but definitely the Nintendo 64 first. There's no question that I totally
that makes sense. I mean, while let's say it would be a convenience to get like the Sega or Nintendo, it's like you have other ways you can play those on your other Retrons. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so let me make this thing.
The pickaxe.
Start production.
Like, what'll be like a dilemma is like if they do come out the 2600 module, it's like I know you would want to get it for your YouTube channel just to show it, but then it's like, but I can already play it on the 2600 plus, which gives you the more like nostalgia.
Right. All right, so we go back down.
The time is 10 p.m. Let the shenanigans begin.
That's right.
Shenanigans.
Yay! I did a thing. Can I? No, I can't pickaxe that. Oh, it's over here. It's this thing, right? It's this pile. I think I can pickaxe this.
Yeah, it looks like it because it's glowing.
Yeah, so I get lots of stone, which is great. But there we go. I got the palladium thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can build a PAL box, which I guess is a place you can store PALs.
Shouldn't it be NTC? You know what? That's funny, bro. That's like at first when I heard PAL World, that's what I thought it was like some type of like MMO, like in the UK or some. No, I'm serious, or some like thing specific to Europe.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I can build a sphere. All right.
Only us gaming geeks would think that.
All right, so now I've got that. Oh wait, I did craft it. Acquire. I did that. All right.
Acquire.
Build a PAL box in open space. The surrounding area will become your base.
Oh.
All right, so I could put it over there. It seems like a good place. Let me go over and get that. There must be one of those little like sheepy guys. Where are the sheeps? Where is it? Where are these sheepies? Oh, there's one down there. What about this chicken?
Ducks? The chickens.
Yeah, that's chicken. All right.
Kill the chicken.
Just beat up the chicken.
Right.
Oh no.
Oh great. Did you waste it?
No way.
You throw away your Pokeball.
That's not even fair.
Oh man.
Wow.
Back to the grind.
I'm totally inept at these games, but that's okay. No.
Yeah, and something like this, it's fun to,
Wait, I think I need to like, yeah, I need to go get more palladium fragments because I need to go back to that pile and beat it up some more.
Palladium. Oh, so I know, retro, I guess, or video game related. So I know one thing I did want to talk about. You've heard of the MIG switch, right? The flash cart.
Yeah.
For the Switch that's coming out, and I think so real quick, so people don't know, it's like initially people weren't sure if it was a real. I wasn't even sure if it was a real thing because there was like a video, and you put in an SD card, and like you have to like eject the card and like have it like blink, and it'll change their games, and it's supposed to come with a dumper so you can like legitimately like dump your games, but that isn't available yet. So the only way you can do it is if you have a hack switch, would make it pointless. Fan of fiction, gentlemen. Fan of fiction. While Phantom is here, all I am going to say is, me and Fan of Fiction are, there'll be a surprise coming on my main channel, and he has a lot to do with it. That's all I'm going to say. So just to kind of whet people's.
All right. Yeah, and what I have to say to Phantom is. Sorry your email got buried, but I replied to it.
Cool beans. So Bolt, dude.
Oh, no worries. That's awesome.
What when I was a kid, like when I was like a kind of like around 10 or 12, I used to be like good at bowling, and then It's one of those things I haven't played it as much as an adult. You know, like kind of like looking back at your youth, like you wish you were as good. But yeah, no, bowling is cool. Anyways, so what I was saying about the about the MIG switch was an interesting topic. So there's like I can't remember. There's like a few YouTube channels that I've seen, and it does really work. But what's interesting is that like the well, the Switch is physical media, that like it's there's like the XCI file, which is the game, but there are like certain certificates, right? And the thing is that there's like the main certificate that's unique to every single game that like Nintendo is able to track. And if they see like two of those same certificates online, then Nintendo is probably, going to ban you because they're like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. So why do I bring this up? Because the first thing that I thought of when there was a device like this, and my concern, like kind of like my concern if like I was like if I had a Nintendo Switch and I was into collecting Switches, is that there's going to be people that are going to dump all their legit games and then they're going to sell those on the secondary market. So,
Right.
but and that could be a problem because let's say you're just wanting to buy a game cheaper on the secondary market, and then your account gets banned. That's what I think is like the bigger problem with the device. Sure, if people they want to use it to have their collection, or if they want to like, as the one guy put it, sail the seven seas. I think it's a great name for pirating. Whether or not people want to do that, that's a bit, that's their business. But I hate the fact that like something like that could potentially ruin or have an impact in the secondary market that you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you're getting. So that's the only thing I was thinking of is kind of a shame. I say that, and as much as I have like issues like with Nintendo, I think that's something like for a current generation device, like I think we can all agree like that's that is it's not the same thing as like playing like Xbox games or PS1. It's Nintendo is still selling the stuff. I could see later down on the road, like as far as for preservation, like the DS, easy access. Like I think because of that, when the Switch, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo kind of already like thought about like, hey, we're not going to have Switch backwards compatibility. Like something like this is the main reason, because that's like how people like jailbreak devices, and Nintendo can't have a new console come out and have everybody like be able to do piracy and not,
right
and all that. What's all ending physical media. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's been a big story lately.
With Ubisoft, like they don't want to burden people with physical media, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like, yep, Pal World.
Indeed.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah,
I've gotten too curious, so
he's playing it through Xbox Cloud on his VCS.
yeah, I'm playing it on entire VCS.
But yeah, I think this like what I think, if I remember like seeing some of those things, yeah, Best Buy, Walmart, and what I think, this is dumb, but I think what people's reasoning are, it's like, hey, why do we still have physical media? Because with like modern games, you don't own them anyways. They're just a key. You still have to download the game. So maybe they kind of feel people are conditioned. It's like, listen, I can see both sides of the story. Like for people like us, like, yes, we grew up playing it. We want that. For like modern day people, they really, like younger gamers, they really don't care. Where I think this falls in is people like us with video games and like movies and DVDs. I mean, hell, there's a lot of people that still have like, you're into that still have like VHS, that things that are like Laserdisc or whatnot. So it is interesting, and it depends on Benefiction asks if you like it, if you like this game.
Yeah, for now it's pretty cool. I'm like kind of getting the point as like why people are into this.
Sure.
Like, so I'm like, okay, I can dig this. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like I'm still thoroughly confused.
Yeah. That's what we were kind of saying earlier too, Finn. And for something like for free, you have that like I think this is like $26. Like I wouldn't just like plunk this down on Steam without trying it. But yeah, if I had like Xbox Cloud, like I guess technically for free, but I mean you're paying for it. You don't have to pay anything additional. But yeah, with physical media, so like I've heard like in Australia, it's still really big there. Definitely
Yeah.
like Japan. So like Japan it is, and so I would find it hard to believe that the Switch 2 wouldn't have physical media, because whereas Nintendo Japan, and they really they still really like physical media there, and all that, which is good here. Like in the United States, sadly, Like, there's not enough people care. I mean, it depends what you're into. Like, I guess like with the equivalent of, let's say, like some younger modern day gamers, it's kind of like how I listen to music, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of like I like somewhere I still have my old CD booklet, but I haven't put in a CD in years. Well, I think like collecting vinyl is awesome. Well, I think like looking at vinyl is awesome. For me, like I'm not into it enough like to spend money, but I think it's cool for people to do. Like for me, like having Spotify and like having the family package where you don't have ads like that, and where I can just like listen to music anytime, anywhere and stream. Like for me, that works out really well.
Right.
So I think like sadly with some of these, I think that's how people feel at video games, which is which is fine. I mean, like then again, like my kiddo who's 15, like she grew. The funny thing is like she grew up like playing games on tablet and phone with ads and all that, and like free to play. Like for her, like all that's like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like someone like myself, like it annoys the hell out of me not having a complete game and having to buy DLC and season passes and all that. So
Right.
I think a lot of it depends on when, like where you grew up, what how does the game look and all that. Although there are some exceptions. So like Stardew Valley's been out like for a long. I don't know, how's that? Like, I want to say 10 years, 7 years. I don't know. It's been out for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was younger, we saw. I can't remember the streamer. I can't remember his name on Twitch, but like he would always wear like these different like circular, like sunglasses. No, doesn't look like that. And he was. I don't know if he was himself, but he was definitely a character. Like every time for fishing, he would catch like if he caught seaweed, he'd go 50% sea, 50% weed. But anyways, it kind of yeah, he would just. But it kind of sold me on that game because it was like it's pixel art, and the way that it was done reminded me like, hey, this could have been something that Square Enix would have put out back in the day. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where like I got into it, she got into it, and first was on PC, came out for mobile phones, and she still plays that a lot, like off and on. But it's a pixel art game. But not only that, it's a device that you can play on your phone. Like it's different than Roblox, but kind of similar. Calling all of us old, yeah, I guess. What's funny because like it's when my daughter called old, I'm like, I'm gonna be turning only like 45 this year. Like I'm like, hey, we're not 60 yet. Like God, that's what maybe like 60 or 65. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the sad thing about this is we are a dying breed, and I know I've kind of talked about this before. Kind of like how my dad grew up; he was really into toy trains. For me, well, I could appreciate them. Like I didn't really like care, have that same nostalgia and everything. And I kind of feel like with all the retro stuff, that's kind of like how, let's say, like younger kids and gamers, like this is their toy trains. I mean, there's always exceptions. I think it's great when you do see like younger people get into it. The fact that like the what the heck my brain went blank. What's the other Atari console? Not the 26, the cheaper one with the built-in games.
With the flashbacks?
No, the other thing, the newer one.
The game station?
Yeah, my arcade. Jesus, sorry.
No,
I hate it when I have a brain fart. But the fact that it's a bit like something like those exist. And the reason I bring that up because that's like your sub $100. You don't have to own any physical media. You can literally just do plug and play, and you can play Atari games.
Yeah.
So it makes me happy that like devices like that exist for people out there that just want to play games. Maybe they don't want to go, they don't want to load ROMs, they don't want to mess with stuff. So because of stuff like that, it does expose younger audiences to games, and then they can kind of, choose, what they want. I also kind of feel like indie games kind of keep the spirit of those things alive. And then as long as like Atari collection, like Atari 50th, as long as those keep coming out, then that also kind of keeps the public eye. And since I did 2600, since I did say Atari, the one thing I will say that other than Blaze, yeah, we're almost at the hour to talk about it, but they're doing. I will say the one thing I like that Atari is doing is they're giving people options. Like so much. Like I want to say of any other company, it's like you have a VCS. You can a VCS which has its own ecosystem in games, also emulates a lot of their stuff. You can have Atari 50th, or you can have the physical cards. You can actually, what's cool is like Atari embraces emulation. We're like, we want to play it digitally or physically. Like we don't Like we don't care as long as you want to play our games. And so I think that's great because that's another thing that, that'll keep it alive. The fact that it's like on Steam and all the online stores, like that keeps it alive. So
yeah.
And so that's why, and that's with like talking about like updates and things, it is it is nice just to sometimes be able to pop in a cart. Although, of course, kind of depending on like original hardware, you don't get like save states and stuff. Sometimes that's debatable if it's needed, but you do have the convenience. And so something like the Evercade 2600 Plus, you do have save states in the 2600 Plus, right? Or do you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2600 Plus, yeah.
Yeah. And so they add those they add those conveniences, which is great. Actually, and sometimes with save states, I'm even conflicted, just because sometimes I feel like doing a save state interrupts the flow of me playing.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, for that kind of stuff, it's like one of those things for me is when you're talking like save states and like 2600 plus, for example, it's like really, I don't know. There's only
one reason I would want that. Actually, I would rather just have like something that would capture a screenshot to save your high scores.
Sure.
Because that's what I do on the what I do like playing like let's say on the VS or the handheld. But what's irritating is that like something like Food Fight, for example, I want to say like all six of the slots have various save states. But you can only, but like, unless I know to like load my high score ahead of time, I have to look at these tiny thumbnails and maybe I don't want to override it. And then you have to save it a certain spot. But then again, at the same time, if I'm playing something like Duke Nukem or Astabros or whatever, then I'm happy to have those save states for progress. So it kind of conflicted. But yeah, if I'm playing something like like any score chasing game, no, I'm definitely, or a game that's only meant to be played like with one credit, like a shooter. No, I'm only using saves. I'm only using save states to save my high score, because for those I want to play the game the way it's intended. Because if you do use save states, like I've done it before, like I think in the beginning with like something like Mappy, right? But then I'm like, it gets kind of boring knowing I could just no matter what infinitely beat a level,
right?
But knowing that hey, this is like. You get 3 lives, and that there's like something a lot more fun, and you feel like you've earned it for the score chase, and then you don't get bored of the game because like those games are meant to kind of start over. And it kind of like they like it gives me the same thing that roguelikes do, where I'm just like, oh, one more try,
right?
Unlike Nintendo, yes. So what's interesting, Mr. Shua, is what I always say when you have something like whenever you're selling, let's say you're selling your customers ROMs. Whether it's digitally or physically, the biggest competition that you have out there is free. So as just kind of like if you do like the laziest thing, like the Bill and Ted's collection, which is just like no fee, if you do like kind of depending, I think that even just doing a ROM dump isn't good enough anymore. I think definitely like Atari 50th, set the stage. Even some of the Disney Afternoon collections. I don't own any of those, but like I think those you can like do challenges, you can do high scores. Like I think like the Mega Mans,
right?
They can like do boss rushes. So like you can't like I agree 100%. You can't just like give a ROM dump. You've got to do when it's all digital like that. You've got to do something more. Otherwise, even like the Konami collections that are out there, like that's why I'll only pay a couple bucks for them when they're on sale. And then you have let's say like Evercade and Atari. They offer you the option to do physical media, and then Evercade on top of that, you have the booklet and the thing, and then Atari, you can play physical media. Although I will say, and when I watched a few YouTubers, like I think it was John Hancock, actually, but every YouTuber that messed with the 2600 plus that bought like Mr. Run and Jump or bought like Berserk Reimagined, the number one complaint was that they only give you the sleeve, right? Which is kind of funny. Like it's kind of like with a company physical media, like we give an instruction booklet, or at the very least, like for something like Berserk, give you like an index card that should show you the different game modes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look that stuff up online, which I think that's what I feel like. Maybe Retro Rob, or if like I said, most of all the YouTubers that they're like, yeah, at least have a card. But so yeah, that I thought was kind of interesting. At least you do get a sleeve, but or on the other side of the sleeve, print the game modes. I mean, that's like a minor nitpick. I think it's cool that in 2024 you can buy new Atari games. I mean, that's like whoever thought that, right?
Right.
If you told me that as a young kid, I would have like laughed. I would have like that's never going to happen. but I mean, not everything is perfect. I think certain devices and certain things do come close to. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know. Not here. Let me bring this up as a surprise. So you all have seen the videos where they talked about the new Sega handheld. That's supposed to be coming out. It's what's his face is making that. Man, I don't know why my brain goes blank. You know what it is? I'm trying to search for two things at the same time. There we go. I want to share this. Okay, make sure it doesn't show my account name here. Hold on a second. Sometimes we have a brain pause.
It's all good.
New Sega handheld console. Because then, okay, that's funny. I don't want a bunch of Sega make a new handheld console. But you all know what I'm talking about. The new a second. I should insert a Hyperkin. Oh my god, I could. Okay, so and we just talked about Hyperkin. I hate it when I get
Hyperkin handheld. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's supposed to be like the Subia, right? Yeah. All these retro. These retro consoles are cool. I asked. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. My brain. Yeah. My neurodivergent brain just all over the place. But anyways, so yeah, that new Hyperkin that's and they do I think a Hyperkin I think they hyped up a 64 in a console at one point. So who knows if it's going to come out? Although it's kind of if you look at the Super Bowl, again, nothing is perfect. So and we know with Hyperkin products the quality is questionable. That's one of the things that made the 2600 Plus so awesome because it's it's made by Atari. But what a long-winded, weird, waffling way of getting at. Mad Little Pixel did a video on this, and I think he said, "Hey, if anybody knows of any portable other ways to play Sega, let me know." And I guess you can buy this it's from Japan, but it's Amazon, from Amazon. And what was kind of neat is the screen itself is it is 720 HD. And it is the weird thing though is the D-pad isn't like a Sega D-pad.
Yeah.
But what he was saying is that he's saying the screen was great. There wasn't any latency. The device itself kind of felt cheap, and the controllers felt cheap. But when he hooked it up to the TV and used either a real Sega controller or a retro bit, he was saying hey, this this might not be the definitive way to play, but it's pretty cool. Okay. And so I just kind of bring I don't have any Sega carts, but kind of what I'm trying to say is they make some devices that are almost kind of close to perfect, but something like this, so I wonder could you mod it and just change the D-pad and put in better buttons? It's like a modern day Nomad, if you will. But here's kind of the other thing with that. So when I see devices like that, and even something legit, even something like a 2600 Plus, even getting a modded Game Boy, here's kind of my struggle for certain things. Always in the back of my mind, my question is, do I need to run those things off the physical cart because this is my way. This is the way of getting my fix. For me, it's an affordable way. Do I want to start another collection? I kind of go back and forth, because a lot of those, if I want to play Sega, I can't hook that up on the TV. Actually, I can play it on my PS4, but also on my Steam Deck, I can also, play plenty of that stuff. Like Atari is awesome on that thing. But then the other thing, and so and the other thing that kind of complicate it is when you do own physical media. Not only is there the fun of choosing, putting it in, hearing the sounds, that's what gets after the hour, so I can mention Evercade. Those are the things that the nostalgia. Yeah, those are the things that keep me from buying the Evercade. Yes, So, and that's kind of the thing that I say. If you care about physical media and you care about collecting and all that, I mean, it is always great to support the devs. And yes, you have license, but here's the other bigger thing to the Mr. Shua is that what makes you feel like you have ownership, and how important is that to you? Like, does that kind of make it more fun? Like, even like, let's say playing games like on the VCS, right? It's all digital, but you actually, own it, like it unlocked. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so for me, like, and that's a kind of conflicted thing, because for me, like, sometimes like owning things on Steam, I'm like, do I care about the ownership, or do I like the fact that I can just download everything? I can download my cloud saves. Like I don't know, because when I've been playing like on the 2600, when I've been playing like Dragonfire, or and some of those other games that aren't really available on anything but like a legit 2600, then I'm like, do I need to have it? I think sometimes, and then that's where I'm kind of torn. I think sometimes I like the fantasy. I like having the physical media, and sometimes not. And then I don't know. And so because and that's why, Rich, I think you have a good balance, because you don't buy and collect every single game just to have it. You get like the physical copies of like meaningful games. And so I think that's a great way. I think that's a great way to do it too. But yeah, particularly like Atari though is, I don't know, that's like the one itch that I don't know the scratch, because something like, if I did want to, like, forget me trying to get even a loose copy of like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy, like, and basically like 99% of the games that I grew up, that I grew up with, like on Sega or Nintendo, like, or Super Nintendo, or maybe Nintendo, like, they're like way too out of reach, right? Like, they're ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for prices on most of those things, unless you get them from Japan. But Atari is still one of those things where, unless it's something like super stupid ridiculous, I want to say like for the 2600, like your average game is like maybe like $5 to $20, maybe even like less. Maybe like most of the classic things like Missile Command, Pitfall, those are all like under $10. Like, those are realistic.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We'll kind of have to see. How that goes. Some of those things I don't know. I kind of feel like if I go, like, now that the 2600 plus exists, I kind of feel like if you go to a trade show or go to one of those places and they have like a bargain bin where they have just like a bunch of 2600 games that are like a couple bucks each, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like spending like 20, like, dude, you could spend, that's the thing, you can spend like $50 and get like, and maybe get close to 100 games, kind of depending on what people have to bundle. It's like, all right, no, I have to get a 2600 plus. So it's kind of like that.
Right.
That type of thing. But yeah, it's weird though how like different things in nostalgia matter. Just like, there's some people that they love to have vinyl, and I think that's great. That I don't know if it was you, Phantom, who compared to say like Evercade is the modern vinyl. Somebody somebody said that, and I'm sure there's probably also, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people who collect vinyl but don't actually listen to it on vinyl. Like they want to have like the physical aspect of it. Then maybe they still listen to it digital, which is fine too. I was going to say, if I was going to collect vinyl, that's probably like how I would do it. Kind of like similar to the Retron, similar to the Polymega, except you're not ripping it from it. Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought it was you that said that, because that's like a great analogy. So everybody collects, these certain physical things, but I think the other thing, I think of why a lot of us are into physical media, because it's kind of like now that we're like in a digital age where everything is streaming online. I think some of this, it's nostalgic. It's like, hey, we can kind of hold on to it. At least the good thing about with the retro space that we're in at the end of the day, if something if something happens, at least you can always find the ROMs online. So I think there'll always be the means to play these games no matter what. It just kind of depends. I mean, each person has their own, but it's like, hey, like Streets of Rage looks cool, but then like you see maybe a place has a loose cart for $100. It's like, I don't know, that's kind of a turnoff, right?
Right.
It's like, well, like something like that is awesome, but it's just like, really, just for the loose cart? I don't know. Especially like and I think I've talked about this before too, like in America, kind of depending on where you go, it's almost, like condition wise, some things will sell for the complete price box for that are loose. It all kind of depends on the supply and demand. When they're trying will produce more cartridge. Yeah. I kind of wonder that. I kind of wonder that too, if they'll produce more. A part of me kind of hopes that like Atari would be like, hey, that like an Atari 50 though, that they would give us like maybe Berserk Recharge, Mr. Run and Jump. I don't know. I want it like I don't want to give Atari ideas, but I want to say even for some of that stuff, even if it was like $5 here, $10 there, a few times a year for add-on DLC, like I would pay that. But yeah, I do wonder if Atari though. I think maybe they'll release more games. I think they're kind of waiting to see how much a 2600 plus kicks in. Although if I had to put my business hat on, there might be more money in them just like selling, selling the 2600 consoles. And that's probably what's like incentivizing them just to get the compatibility because of all the homebrew. But then again, they make money off of that too. I don't know. I'd be curious. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do make. Maybe it's kind of a combination of both. And you know what though, fan? Actually, I will say the one brilliant thing that Atari did do is I like that they're honestly it's kind of funny that they're real 2600 carts and that you can play them on original hardware. And so I think that's that's all the big people who have like original 2600s or like HDMI modern like people who don't have the need to buy like a 2600 plus because they can play it on some other hardware. I think it's great that they did that too. But yeah, I don't know, Mr. Run and Jump. I want to try, but no one like you can't even download it. You can't even buy it digitally. At some point, I would imagine, or maybe we get it like an Atari 50. More multi carts with dip switch. So it's what it's interesting how I think some people like kind of depending on who the reviewer is. Some people complain about that, but I think some of like other like retro gamer channels that I've seen, they said it makes the device feel analog, which is great because that's I want to say that's probably the reason why you want to get a 2600 plus is because you want it's kind of funny, right? Almost as a contradiction, but to all of us like gaming geeks and nerds, it makes sense. Like you want the analog feel, but you want to play it on a modern display. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the thing that I think is like it is so cool is that for most people like you're not going to game in black and white. But I'm glad that switch is there just because it was on the original.
Mm-hmm.
Like you may just like flick it once for for a novelty and be like, cool. It's kind of like the little touches. Like playing the Atari is one of those consoles that like you had to kind of sit close to it. You had like all those dip switches. Like actually, I'm trying to think. Like it's like once Nintendo came out, there was like no need like with start and select. So yeah. I think having that set like for the multi carts is or having the dip switch is pretty neat. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we kind of were talking about that. If maybe they'll kind of do like with collections like with Evercade, like maybe they will make out like an iMagic collection or an Activision collection, like start to make volumes. They'll throw several carts on there, and you have the physical cart.
Mm.
That would be pretty neat.
That would be kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, just to see. Who knows though? I see. I'm really curious to see like what that market is for Atari, just because there's so many games still out there. So you'd have to wonder like, is there a big enough market? Let's say to put like Pitfall 1, Pitfall 2, and a few other Activision games. Like for modern game, like is there enough market for like modern gamers to go out and get who want to? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Or like. There are some people who are, who want to collect it and would buy it anyways. But yeah, it's a shame. No kidding, dude. Yeah, it is a shame. I still will say, give me a Tetris collection, give me an Activision Atari collection, and I can die a happy man.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to finally happen.
Yeah, because I really, that we'll see, but I think that would be just I would be over the moon in that situation. Yes, there's other compilations you can get there. Yes, I never yeah, dude, it's interesting because the relationship with licensing, like we don't know, like yes, Atari is doing its own thing, acquired these other companies, and they want to give different ways to play those games, but. We don't have. There's no. But they didn't acquire Activision, so that's still up for grabs. But yeah, I mean, for me, there's something like for me, like kind of like I guess for me having like the physical carts and kind of random things, it kind of helps sometimes with Netflix syndrome. You can look at it, open it up, hear the clicky noise. But then at the same time though, like maybe like there's a certain game I'm in a mood for that's not on there, like roguelikes, for instance, like that's or like modern indies. But that's okay. That's why I play stuff on Steam. But they complement each other like very well. I think I have said this before that if like like if like tomorrow, like whatever, like this next year was like the last year of Evercade, and I wanted to collect physical media, then I think my hand would be for it. Like I would have to get a 2600 plus if I wanted to cheaper.
Right.
I'm like, I don't. It's funny. I'm like, what would I do, or would I, because like I think subscription box service is a little iffy. Kinsure, Akamad, Panic Gaming have to do something like that, but yeah, there is something kind of neat about being able to play physical cards on a device that you have. I know at some point during our life, like the bubble will burst. And I think what's going to happen is everybody who's kind of like got most of the stuff out there, either they're going to either they get bored with it or they don't play it as much. And then price, there's not as much of a demand, and then prices go down. Maybe we'll go back to 2010 prices, and then that would be kind of that bit. But that's what's neat though about Evercade. You get a cart, you get a bunch of like random games, like thrown on there that maybe you heard of or you haven't heard of. Kind of like the same thing of if you could go into a retro store and buy like a few $5 games. That's
right.
That's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, there's different reasons. There's different reasons for everything. Although sometimes, like now, I'm kind of like going to my mode where sometimes either from work or whatever, I get a little bit exhausted. I just want to I want to watch stuff, and then I'll kind of more like casually play games. Like before, I was playing like Astro Bros, Dukes, like like even Blaster Master. Like I was on a mission to beat them, and then now, I go back to my score chasers. Or
the score chasers are kind of like comfort food, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, especially, and that's why, like, especially like Atari Collection 1. I think if you could play the Namcos more on VS, then I would have played those more. I would have played those more recently, just because lately I'm just wanting to. I don't know if it's a bigger screen or being comfortable. I go back and forth because at some point I get tired of playing things on the VS and I go back to the EXP. But yeah, immediately, like with the Atari, even though the dilemma of the Atari 1 collection doesn't have Centipede, doesn't have the the real Yars, has like what that Yars.
Oh yeah, the Yars Return.
Yeah, bad Yars. Yeah, because actually, like last night when I went to play on that, I was like, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it's not on that one. But for me, like my go-tos are definitely like Food Fight, Aqua Adventure. And then like Centipede, Missile Command, some of those, and then Ninja Golf. Ninja Golf is on there. And then I popped in the, I haven't played in Television 1 in a long, in a long time. So actually, I haven't played it in a long time. That since they came out with updates where you can see your time, like I really haven't. And I just had a lot of fun playing like Night Trap. This is like what there's like a homebrew version of Night Trap for the 2600, right? I forget.
Yeah.
Caves of something.
Well, no, I don't. It's not like a homebrew. It's a M Network game.
Okay, what's that called?
Dark something. Dark Caverns.
2600. Oh, okay. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, but it's yep. I need to check that out. It actually looks really simple. But anyways, I had fun. Actually, I jumped to play that one quite a bit, and then man, I'm trying to remember what the best game on there is. I hate having a brain fart. The one where you go through the castle. What the heck is that called? And I can't. Yes. Oh my god, dude, that game is so solid. I think like that game they pushed the Intellivision to its limits because the graphics, the sound.
Yeah, well, the soundtrack is awesome because it's all like classical music and stuff.
Yeah, yes, that I'm surprised that I was able to barely get to like the third level where they're the skulls. But I was having to remember, I'm like, I think the chalice kills enemies on the screen. But yeah, that one I got like that one I really got like sucked into, which that's like worth it to own the cart. Like just for that. But yeah, definitely there's comfort games. Admittedly, like I'll stay away. Sometimes I'll pop in Princess Quest, but I'll stay away because that game is like super difficult. Like that kind of,
yeah, I kind of get you.
Yeah, it's not like a chill kind of like a chill back game. But yeah, sometimes some of those like 8-bit, it's a lot of fun just to kind of pop those in and play them for a bit. Oh, so speaking of playing emulation, so for the fun of it, because on my Steam Deck I have that build of Coin Ops, I was curious to see like what Bubble Bobble versions were on there, and I was also curious just like playing that on a bigger screen with more comfortable controls. And I did play the original Bubble Bobble, and I was like, yeah, it kind of made me wish I was like, man, why can't I get the same feel in the Super Pocket? But there's like a Bubble Bobble Returns, which is like the same game, but the levels are remixed, and there's like a third one. But yeah, I was like really like getting like sucked into.
Oh, that's cool, though.
Yeah, like sucked into those. So yeah, I'm glad there's all different available options out there to play different games. But yeah, sometimes dabbling. Of course, you have like the portability of like the of like the Super Pocket. But yeah, I wonder. I wonder though, like at some point with Evercade's next device, if maybe they'll make something in between. But I don't know though. I think the XP, other than it be, it's not vertical, which it's designed to be, like other than having a bigger screen, and adding like Bluetooth support for controllers, I really don't know what else they could do without completely changing the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Which, in a way, though, for me, I'm not sure if I want necessarily if I want that, because, I'm not, unless they can, actually maybe you could fit like a Saturn game, but like my fear is that if they have to make a device that has more powerful hardware, let's say to do like all those other things, then that's going to be more expensive. Then the cart's going to be more expensive, and then I think at that point they risk getting into like a territory of, well, then you might as well just emulate stuff like on, one of those Linux, like Ambernic devices. So yeah, I think for me, like, because like their initial statement is 8 and 16-bit games. Like I think I'm happy with that. Well, yeah, I think if they do, I think it'll be a skin device.
Yeah, like a special edition.
Yeah. And that's what I think they need to do. Yeah. Because I mean, for me, like the VS is fine. Like that's the thing too. Like for the VS, like I don't think, honestly, without doing like firmware updates to their existing hardware and adding more features like they've started to do, I don't think there's any, I don't think there's anything else. I think that like whatever main game that they come out that hopefully that they do native, if they make a console to match it, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be like a new device. It's
no.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those things where, like a special edition, I guess, I don't know, maybe a handheld or something, because they wouldn't double up on a VS, I don't think.
Yeah. No, I think they would do a handheld. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe did even if they did like the full void. That could kind of maybe be like, actually what they could do is they could kind of do the full void where it could kind of be like blue. It could kind of like the whole thing could kind of be like blue, or it could be black with blue buttons. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they could do. I think what they've decided is that Hyper Megatech, they'll come out with their Super Pockets, and then they're just gonna focus on on games. Will we see a peripheral? Who knows? But
right.
I kind of like the focus because just kind of like how you like have like your Polymega to play like Saturn games and all that, right? Like I just kind of feel like if they, unless now if we see in a few years as technology becomes cheaper, as like the Switch 3 comes out, the Steam Deck, then maybe the prices will align to fit in that ecosystem. I just think if they were to do it now, it would just be too expensive. Where you might as well get like a Retroid or Ambernic device.
Yeah.
And all, and all that. But yeah, and there's kind of the fun neat part of just like exploring and dabbling in other emulation. But I like the fact that I can always go back to Evercade and just pop in.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, an Evercade fight stick that play. Oh yeah,
Man,
yes.
I'd be down for that.
See that? Like, I think did you bring that Phantom during Evercast? Like that would actually be kind of like I would be fine with it if it was an arcade stick, and even if there was only like one slot, like if they had to say like there was only like one slot in it. But yeah, you could play like all your trackball. Yeah, that would be dude. That would be awesome. Yeah, and then maybe that could be like wireless. But yeah, no, dude, that would be neat. If I actually like if I had I was gonna say if I had like soldering craft skill like that could be you know that could be something that you could actually make if you had like the kind of the skills for it. You could have to like solder a pin out and all. But yeah, no, yeah, have something have
Mm-hmm.
something official. Who knows though? I mean, well, I like all those devices would be cool. I really hope this year I want Blaze just to focus on getting getting firmware features, getting the updates to to fix anything, quality of life improvement, and just focus on good games because that's I think that's what made us or or getting like the bangers like they did like the second half of the year. That's what I coming by good games.
Yeah, man.
Getting those licenses.
I think we're gonna wind up seeing that stuff though. Like most of that stuff's gonna wind up coming to fruition. The cool thing about what happened though recently is now you saw the fruit of what they were doing. You know, like they went quiet and then nothing's happened for a couple months, and then boom, here's this update, and it's actually substantial. You know,
Yes.
like that update was really well done.
Yeah, I need to. Did you test out some of those features in your video? I need to probably watch that.
I did. I tested out the turbo on Tiger Heli during the video, and then I didn't do anything else. But the the cool thing is it worked. Tiger Heli it worked. If I was able to get a high score, I would have been able to also figure that out too. But I didn't because I'm terrible at those games. So
Gotcha. See, that's what. Yeah, that's that's the kind of stuff I want to. I want to go ahead and test.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, there's cool features like that, and I just want to see that, more of that, more of that focus, and
Yeah,
kind of go on with those type of things. But yeah, Evercade is really really exciting. It's the next announcement,
absolutely.
dudes. Yes, maybe they're sitting. Yeah, see that this I really like. I want like TurboGrafx Sega or SNK. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I would
I
love
would
the
be
Sega
happy.
games. I really would, but
Yeah. I mean, Sega would be nice. I mean, they've had like the minis, the mini consoles have been out for a while. Hopefully, they've made all the projected sales that they that they need on that.
right.
They can allow for other people. But yeah, I would really welcome TurboGrafx because especially here in the U.S. that was a system that was just difficult. Not really many people had it. It would be neat to have a physical media way to
Mm-hmm.
to play it. Like put your bunks on there like Wonder Boy. Put some like shoot 'em ups. And if they were like one thing I know that would really if Blaze could pull it off, if they could put like the Castlevania, like something like that, especially like a US translated version of it. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that would kind of put people kind of put on, even if it was just if that was maybe like I want to say that even if that if you know what, okay, check this out. It's like if they did a remaster of that
Of what?
of the Castlevania that was in the TurboGrafx. I forget what the
Oh, that would be cool.
and kind of give it the same. That's why I was like, I was like, well, wait a second. If that was the only game, I'm like, that could work if they gave it the remaster that you could play it. You could play it widescreen. I don't think they would really have to update the graphics. Well, just make it look just as good widescreen. Keep the save states. Have it fully translated.
Mm-hmm.
Still keep the music. I don't know. Kind of do something. Kind of do something like that. I don't know what else maybe they could add, but I don't know. Or just put the game on there as it was with some other games, because the TurboGrafx minis are like long, those are long gone. So really, you don't have any other like official emulated way to play a lot of those games, and that would Yeah, that would be. Yeah, do you know what? If I'm being honest, Turbo. I know I've harped on wanting the Neo Geo for all, but TurboGrafx and Sega would get me the most excited. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Or just like give me, or just give us a Sega arcade,
Right.
like a first party, like Golden Axe, Altered Beast, Space Harrier. I'm trying to think maybe, if they didn't want to pull the, and then you know what? And then if Blaze is able to do something, there's like, I forget what it's called, but there's like a Japanese exclusive like arcade prototype version of Sonic. I forget what it is. But like throw something like that on there. I don't know. That would be pretty neat. Like even if or if Sega's like, you know what? Being that we're coming out with Streets of Rage, Kid Chameleon, Golden Axe, if they just did, if they just did a 16-bit cart of those games that they're remaking, just to be able to promote like that, dude, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Konami would be great. Yeah. Oh, dude, tell me about it. I would even be. I would even be kind of. Oh, by the way, I did. So after Evercast, what was that game that I know that like Pete says is better than Contra, which I don't think it is. But what that on the Data East collection. That run and gun. You all know what I'm talking about.
The run and gun that. Oh, the Data East collection. The original Data East collection, right?
Yes.
Midnight Resistance.
Midnight Resistance. Okay, so I remember I was saying that the controls or something was a little bit weird, and yeah, so so here's what kind of throws me off. If you play like a Contra or any other game, like you actually hold the button down to shoot. Mm-hmm. What's different is that you press it. You're always auto firing, but the problem is if you hit down to duck, then you shoot down. It's like you have to like press the button to kind of hold the position to go into. So yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, I've had fun playing that game, but then the controls are still really weird. Is what I'm trying to.
Right.
What I'm trying to get at, but yeah, no, I would love a Konami collection if they even just like throw all the different versions of Contra on there, like the arcades and Super Nintendo and Genesis. I mean, there's so many things that they could do, or put on maybe more of the obscure Konami games, like they're like Russian Attack and some. I don't know.
Right.
There's greatest is the collection is deep, but TurboGrafx I think would be neat because other than just for the fact other than a mini, we don't have that like in any other physical format unless you have a TurboGrafx. And maybe now because of like the Analog Duo is out, you're beating up sheepy sheep.
Yeah.
That's creating a buzz. But yeah, all this stuff comes down to, I think, everybody that plays their games, you have to decide in your own way what's important to you for you to play in physical media, what's important for you to collect, and what's different. I think each person kind of has their own different answer, of what they're into, which kind of makes the whole thing neat. You throw a Pokeball at that thing.
I guess Pokeball. Yeah, because I think he's done for. So I went a little too far. You have to like bring down their like HP to a certain amount, like in Pokemon.
Yeah,
and then throw the ball at him and then you catch him. But
that's why people like this. It's like an open world Pokemon that you can do crafting and you can do PvP and
yeah. Like look, I built. And the whole time we've been talking and whatever, I built a little base.
Yeah.
A little house. I'm ready to adventure. I made myself some clothes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Apparently I need to find more sheep though. So I need to go and get the sheep and then capture them and then bring them to my base. But every time you capture these things, like they get mad at you if you don't give them things. So you have to like make them. You have to make them beds, and like all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, more GTA games.
Yes. No kidding, because we have like the widescreen. Yeah, we have like the wider screen. I would like to see more GB. I just would like to see more Game Boy in general, because like I play like it is something nice. They would look actually. Well, they do look great. And I playing like the Blaster Master Boy, like on like the Pocket is like that's very like nostalgic, as it is on the EXP. No, I would love that because some games like Tetris, like Tetris and stuff, I still kind of because and that's kind of my dilemma because I'm like, hey, I can play this on my Steam Deck and it looks great and it's a nice big screen for like a lot of actually I've been playing a little bit of like Metal Slug Advance is pretty cool, but yeah, and actually own that in physical format, dude, that would be that would be unbelievable. But even more homebrew, I'd be happy. But yeah, I kind of feel like the Game Boy Advance and Color have been neglected. Like I want to say Game Boy Color. I know there's Radical Biker. There might be one other game. Whoops, sorry, didn't put the middle finger. I know there's like one other Game Boy Color game that I can't think of. Maybe there might be. Maybe not. I know. I know there's. Can you think of it?
So it's Radical Bikers. It's the one other the top-down racing game that was on something.
But was that Game Boy Color or Game Boy? I know there's a few Game Boy Advance.
Oh, yeah. The other one, the top-down racing game, was a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. And then there's some other games that are Game Boy looking, but I don't know if they actually are like Blaster Master.
Yeah.
Hey, Lord Jerem, thank you so much. Coming by, always appreciate. Actually, I think we're winding down a little bit here too because it's almost like 11 your time.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get into final thoughts. So I will say, so actually tonight, well, like pretty much like Wednesday midnight is when I do a lot of. Yeah, I think there are. I want to say yes, there are a lot of, and same with game like anything. I want to say yes. That's a good question though. I like Good Boy Galaxy. You know what? Great, you said a lot. That's a good question. I might have to look into that, Phantom. I know like Good Boy Galaxy is one. I'm gonna have to look at a guide for that. That game is great, but my God, it's a it's a Vania. So I was saying, video. I put those out at midnight on Wednesdays. I kind of feel like that's good for both for people who wake up in the States and people overseas. Definitely, I was gonna say, channel members. I changed the member thanks, and I think you all will like it. I found. I mean, the hand waving thing was nice, but yeah, I wanted to change it to something kind of like modern retro-y, and I did that, and I separated the super producers and super supporters, so it kind of like looks nicer, gives people credit, and I have more room.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's so because now I have it set up where I could easily edit that. The kind of fun fact, sometimes like just to get those things the way that you want, and then I have to do it twice because I have a shorter version for my channel because I don't need the fade to black like I do for the live because
yeah.
But once I get one of them down, then it's pretty easy. So yeah, I did that, and it's the Aster Bros, Borg, whatever. Like that's what'll be coming on today. And what I've tried to do, Phantom, like for like members like you and whatnot, is today, like I released it today early. And actually, for those of you who don't know, what's dumb is that you can't schedule have members and then go live. So what I did is what Crow told me he does. He leaves it as unlisted, and then like the day before, the day before you want it to come out, you can let your members have it go early. So I try to do if I get videos done ahead of time, I try to do that. I try to do that when I can. Yeah. And so that'll be that. And then at some point, depending on we get breaking news or whatnot, I may just have to do my first look at the Duke Nukem 2 card, even though I won't be able to play the Land of the Babes. Yeah, but I can always do that on my follow up. So it's
yeah. I mean, so I wonder though, is it just Land of the Babes that's not working, or you already sent your card in?
No. I think if I remember with video games, I don't know if I have to send it back I can't remember where I got the renovation collection from. I think maybe that might have been from, I can't remember, but no, I haven't sent it back yet because they're not getting
it. Patching it?
Oh, you've been since the latest update.
The latest update has a patch specifically for both carts.
Ooh.
So try patching a cart.
I need to do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yep. Dude,
Oh,
if that works, then that'll be.
yeah, it would be rad, right?
You know what? I might. Well, you know what? I might have. You know what? I think what I might have to do before I patch that one, I think I'm gonna have to capture video because then it's one of those things where if it doesn't work, meh. But if it does work, then I wished I could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe who knows, right? Yeah, it's just that one game. It's just loading it. Maybe reapplying the patch. Maybe that like read. I see what you're saying. Maybe that like
Right.
that re-downloads the ROM,
Yep.
and if the ROM was corrupted.
Yeah, and when you do patch, it takes a little bit. It definitely takes a little bit to actually get the patches done.
Gotcha.
So it was, and I did that during when I put in Toplin 1. It was like, oh hey, you have a patch. So I was like, oh, I guess we'll just wait and find out, how long it's gonna take. And it did. It took a while. So
Well, if it does work, then maybe while I'm waiting on getting the other cart, I mean, then it's playable. So hey,
exactly.
yeah,
Then you can play
okay.
it. Yep.
And then if it, I can't do any worse, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
if it still doesn't work, then yeah, 'cause it's a weird thing. Like it'll load the full FMV, but it won't load the game. It just locks up there endlessly, both on the EXP and on the VS. The Pocket just blink. Like it's funny. Like the Pocket won't even load it right away.
Yeah.
So that's which the Pocket. I noticed for like loading games, it's a little bit faster. So it is kind of cool to test stuff because I noticed even for like PS1 games, it loads those faster. But
Indeed.
so yeah, that'll be neat. And I'll be doing more. I've been having fun doing more members only videos and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of good stuff. Anything else you want to plug?
I mean, other than the fact that it's like, hey, well, we're gonna be doing as much as we can for how long we have for this particular week because of the trip. But if anything does come up or some cool stuff happens, I am bringing my like at least some gear, so we can do stuff. We can do some stuff, which is great. But other than that, looking forward to a good trip, and then that's pretty much it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, do all the like, subscribe, YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
absolutely.
Do you need me to roll the outro since you're sucked into this game?
I've been building all these things. Oh, I can hit the buttons.
Cool.
So,
Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone. You're all awesome. We appreciate it.
thanks for hanging. Until next time. See ya.
Calling all retro gamers.
Gamers.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.